baby.
Well, that's nice. I feel like I'd freak out and start just wailing my arms.
So, yeah, the felony marijuana, like, motherfuckers are getting charged with felony possession of marijuana for having a singular joint because of the weight of the joint, not being considerate of the fact that the paper around it is worth more. So there's a lot of, like, bad faith charges around that. It's crazy. Imagine having a joint and saying that's felony amounts.
Good day.
Hey, what's going on, Archibald? We're
yeah,
waiting
I've heard that
for
any
Kit.
amount of marijuana is illegal.
It is, yes. It would be a misdemeanor.
Hey, Archie.
Hey, Archie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right.
Hi,
This is
Tilly.
Archie. This is Tilly, and that's Archibald. Wait, how do you pronounce it?
I pronounce it Archibald, but honestly, I'll answer just about anything as long as it's close enough.
If I became a lawyer, we were gonna start a law firm.
Hey,
Archie and
Ava.
Archie.
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, you both
I'm
the
good,
Archies.
thanks.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just wanted to touch base with you if that's
and
okay.
yeah, you know,
Absolutely.
and my sister, if she would you guys both
I
be
wanted to know if there's a time that we could
Auntie,
meet up and talk. I really wanted to
Wait, if you got married to
get.
my
I mean, everything was
sister-
kind of rushed, but kind of long at the same
me?
time earlier at G6.
Wait, no.
But I really
Yeah.
wanted to
Wait, hold
get
on. Never mind.
a better understanding of
If I
everything
got married
that
to one of Archie's,
you want to do, you
relatives,
plan
then
to
I would
do,
also
and see
Yeah, that's
if
true.
there's
If I
I
decide
fucked
to
up.
take
Okay,
their
no,
name.
hold on.
If Archibald and I,
anything I can do on my
we got
end
married and I take
to
your name, then we're both Archie.
help,
Absolutely.
if it's what I think it is.
Okay, absolutely. How about
Oh, that's
tomorrow
right. Okay, you're right. I
afternoon?
Uno reversed it.
Okay.
Yourself and any one of your friends, family, people that you think should be able to listen in, ask questions and all that.
Okay. My husband may be
Thinking about
around
ordering pizza.
tomorrow.
Okay.
What time frame are you looking at?
Anytime after, let's say 4 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. All right. I'll have to let you know.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay. Just
that's perfect. If not
I'm gonna
tomorrow,
try.
then the next day, you know?
Okay. All right.
All right, easy.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. You take care.
Alrighty. You too. Bye.
That was Ava Devereaux, the G6 and doctor. So,
Oh, yeah, I know David. She's great people.
yeah, she really is. She was spitting facts. Like, she was very much in line with the kind of what we've been thinking in the campaign. Shit, I hope Kid is okay.
Oh yeah, some new precedent got set by that case. Actually, I don't remember the exact details, but it should be on the document in the next day or two.
Hell yeah. Yeah, the bike, right? Oh yeah, it's right here. Nicholas Simone versus Tito Barnabas.
Okay, sweet, it's already there. Heck yeah.
Privately owned commercial property. So the TLDR being that if you own a business that's got private parking, that it needs to be labeled as such. Otherwise, it is exempt from being able to. I'm sorry.
When's the last time you? Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. What was the question?
When's the last time you talked to it?
Like an hour ago.
Oh, okay then. Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
Continue. I'm sorry.
Oh, and then Michael is grabbing food and he's going to be on his way. We could actually kick this off if Michael gets here sooner. Oh, he's going to be in 12 minutes. Yeah, we might as well wait till that. I think Kit missing this week because we can always get her up to speed at a later point regardless. And she's been busy. Holy fuck, she's got a lot of cases. But yeah, the TLDR is if you own private property, right? Specifically like a business, right? Because a driveway is pretty obvious to a house, but for private property, if it is not labeled as being private property or like no parking, like there's no signage, then tow drivers can tow vehicles from there. So, and I think that's well within reason because otherwise, it's hard to know what property is state owned and what isn't without, any of that. How's your day been?
I mean, mine's all right. I actually just got done with a sale rep a little bit ago for a Napoleon Dankleaf.
Oh, I ran into him. Napoleon is a 19-year-old son of Cantor and her husband.
He apparently got in some trouble at the that hearing you ended up going to at the hospital, and so I needed some representation.
Yeah. Oh my God, they caught him?
Yep.
Yeah, I think he got mad that someone might have been sleeping with his mom, so I believe he
Yeah,
pulled
well,
the gun
they
and
ended up
started
catching him
blasting.
for assault with a deadly, so as
Jesus.
opposed to getting attempted murder.
Oh, that's right. I think he did a stabbing and then he was shot. I think that's
I
what
think
happened.
he said something about a wrench or some other melee item. But yeah, I was working with Roman Atlas on that one.
Yeah, Roman's a good one. He's a good one. Well, actually, so this is a bit of an update. Apparently, the Murphy vote was originally 3-3, and then it went 15-10.
Oh yeah,
Something
with
like that.
Surge.
Yes.
Mhm.
And you ready for this? It turns out that the voting was inactive lawyers and judges. So I didn't realize the head of bar was a judge / lawyer position, which I'm super opposed to, because what a way to stifle the voice of the people on the ground.
Yeah, justices already have a voice through Crane too.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a massive like smoke and mirror show that I feel like the more gets unraveled, the more like quite blatant smoke and mirrors there is, right?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the more I see stuff, the more I'm just like, yeah, people just aren't taking care of things that need to get taken care of, and it's causing a lot of headaches for the people at the bottom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's that vote. You know, I'm thinking now again. The head of bar, Surge probably will run again.
That's what because I talked to Roman about it, his
Yeah.
interest, and he thinks that's what is gonna occur. And
I really think Grace should take that position.
Yeah, apparently Grace has won't, because she has obligations that
Yeah.
wouldn't give us
Yeah,
give her enough time. I think. I wonder. I just don't know how the other attorneys feel about Roman. There has been
Lots of controversy. He's like, sad. I like him a lot. He's a friend
Yeah.
of mine, but he
Yeah,
is the lawyer version of Murphy Braun in his own sense.
Yeah, I got
but-
that vibe. And I'm going to talk to Serge. I don't want to put off him because he might actually be generally good. I remember Serge for some time back when he was a doctor. And
Hey, Michael.
he's usually had a pretty good head on his shoulders.
Yeah.
What's going on,
Absolutely.
Michael?
A lawyer getting it though would be very good to see instead of the judge
Yeah.
again.
I do think that right now, lawyers with where things are need to be developed up so that there are enough lawyers that can be self-sustaining, which understandably may be the reason why everything falls under the DOJ. Because, like, there's just too much new blood, right? And things could go sideways real quick if there wasn't senior people looking after it, you know?
No, you're right. You're right.
Like lawyers getting away with murder and not getting repercussions. All right, so this is Michael. Michael is Michael. I'll let you introduce yourself, and then everyone in the circle, and then we can kick it off.
Appreciate that, Nino. Thank you. So I've worked in the political sphere before. This wouldn't be my first election campaign that I've been a part of, but I'm usually on the marketing and communications side, graphics, video. 3D effects, copywriting, speech writing. I've been a part of this for a long time. Anyone have any questions?
All right, easy. Tilly, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Tilly.
How you doing, Tilly?
Good.
All right.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
I make hentai and anime posters for the campaign.
Yep.
Nice.
Well,
Yeah.
glad to hear it.
Yep.
Nice. Samples.
I'm excited to show you guys some. Not yet. Tonight. Later tonight, I'll show you some samples. I gotta create them.
Tilly's also going to be doing the note taking that we talked about, and
sure.
Michael is going to be taking his own sense of it and having an opportunity to ask questions. Ultimately, what this is going to turn into is it's going to go into the site. And to give you an idea of what the site look, well, actually, before I get there, Archie, do you want to introduce yourself? And then Archibald right after.
Yeah, I'm Archie Archer. I was on the Civilian Oversight Board, so I have experience with that. I also ran for mayor, and that went a little differently, but I have experience from that as well. I made lots of connections through there. So I'm now helping Nino, campaign managing for him. And if you need me to set up any meetings with people or groups that you have in mind, let me know. Or if you need me to write anything down to be passed on, I'm always available.
Awesome.
Well, I am Archibald McRae. I am a paralegal that's been working with Mr. Chavez here on a number of different items. Honestly, research is pretty much my specialty. I'm able to dig deep in things, and I don't mind doing some paperwork. It doesn't matter as much now, but 5 years ago, I was the acting storefront task force head in Aegis, so I've done a lot of actual investigative work
wait, what?
within basically
what
just
the
making sure
fuck?
that
Wait,
regulations
huh?
are properly in place and people are following rules. So those are the things that I end up working online, and I do kind of like paperwork. So there's that.
Oh, that is very interesting because, well, you're about to find out. There might be a name that pops up that you might be familiar with.
All right. Looking forward to hearing.
So, kind of the goal here today is Tilly's going to be sort of taking notes. It'll be used for reference for Michael. I'm going to be outlining the big. So, let's. I'm a visual person, so you go to a website, right? The splash, the graphic style. We're talking like 90s Marvel comic books without the spandex. The characterization of the key individuals will visually display not just them, but also sort of visualize what they're bringing to the team. So ultimately, what would be collaged when, let's say these portrayals are collaged together, you have effectively the cabinet. Thus, when it is marketed out, either individually or as a collective, that visual representation speaks for itself without the need for text, etc., etc. Now, on this site, in this theme, the assets that will be generated can be simple, right? Maybe the collage can be in there, whatever, maybe abouts and whatever, so people can dig into it. But the main goal of this site, upon arriving at it, we would be seeing the very clear messaging of myself running. But at the very forefront, you would see in bolded, clickable sort of small structured like headers, right? Government transparency and accountability. The Department of Commerce, the Bar Association, TBD. I think that name needs to change because Bar Association has a lot of implications. Medical service upgrade or something. And that can be a lower, it could be in the same styling, but it would be shown as like maybe a lower like class of priority. And so now let me dive into these headers in detail. The first, so the first being the government transparency and accountability. The people should not be afraid of their government. The government should be afraid of their people. This means transparency and accountability needs to be at the forefront. Legislation should and must be passed in a fashion by which, if certain check boxes hit, then the people should be able to file for a vote of no confidence. Thus, no position on the seat of the council will, for their, under my reign, and thereafter, will be a sure thing. This means people will have that feeling that if they are not getting what they want, then Ripozo. The second segment, and these things can be subheaders, right, is that every piece of legislation will and should be publicized in advance of a council vote. So the people know what it is the council is reviewing. Upon voting, it will be published to the people. The means by which we're going to be doing that, both the announcement of what will be reviewed and the end result, is sort of the media content we had talked about, specifically, and I'll give an example. Gun license reform, right? And you can get on Twitter and you see TikTok style gun license reform, and then, simplified text of, non-violent felons maintain licenses. No more, due process prior to revoking of license, something. So when you pull that shit up, it's just like boom, 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 right? You don't need to go read through a document. It's got a format that would fit the ADHD minds of the citizens of Los Santos. And they can so choose, going into detail, look into detail themselves. Upon voting, that same formatted thing would be published. And this time it would show boom, 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 these people voted for, boom, 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 these people voted against. Fuck this state announcement thing, all that. All those things can be done, but the idea is modernizing the means by which this information comes out. It makes people know what's happening, makes them see that the console is working, and it lets them know what the conclusion is. It also, in turn, keeps them accountable because they will know who is voting for what and who are they not voting for, instead of being hidden in obnoxiously long council meeting videos, hidden in the legislation that nobody's gonna go and check. It is like live fucking news, right? Next, we want to work closer with media outlets to allow and provide for further access to these meetings. They will never be closed unless there is an inherent and real threat. Actually, cross that out. We're not going to mention that because that's a thing that can be used against us, and it's such a rare case that it's not worth bringing up. We can probably circle back to this accountability thing because that's more of there's a lot of things that can happen in that space. I'm just forgetting off the top of my mind because it's very bullet listed, right? Okay, second heading. Department of Commerce. The Department of Commerce is going to be led by Eve Summers. She is a close friend of mine and my niece. We don't have to mention the niece thing. I'll probably mention it in speech, but don't need it in text. She has a long history of running businesses and helping businesses get established. Similar to myself, I have a long standing history of running not just businesses, but also running investing in small business. The intent of the Department of Commerce is that it will be a utility and facility that budding entrepreneurs, be them singular or be it a group, and existing businesses can use to ensure and help them push their businesses forward. The primary objective of that Department of Commerce will be the intake for all business proposals. So instead of it going through, like, you're going to still send it through the app, nothing's got to change, right? But when they put it in there, they're going to get a copy of it. And instead of seeing an accept or deny, there will be a chain of communication where the entire public will be able to see who pushed the proposal, and they don't need to know the details of what is it about, right? We want to make sure that's like corporate secret or whatever, right? If they got a cool idea, whatever. It will be logged so we know who's putting the idea before the next so it doesn't get yoinked. Number 3 is that those businesses are going to get an approval with a write-up as to why it got approved. If it gets denied, it's going to explain what the denial reason was. And if it was denied, what the recourse would be. In other words, what do they need to do to get to a acceptance phase? The Department of Commerce will also act as a function by which people can ask, hey, I need help. How do I do this? How do I do that? Now, the secondary, tertiary intent of the Department of Commerce will be to help expand into other benefiting services like, you know, they may be an outlet for getting graphic design, getting tweets made, you know, all these kind of things. So imagine what is it? Like they've got employment services in a lot of cities. This is like employment services, but more at the business level. The goal here is is making businesses succeed instead of making them fail. The next header, and this is more of like a subheader, so to speak, is going to be business reform. The government should not own your business. I want budding business owners to get carrots for doing things the right way, for getting a license, etc., instead of giving a carte en blanche, like reasons for the FBI to bust through their door and just fuck people in the ass. I do not see a rational reason why felons should not be able to own whatever the fuck business they want. Because if the business is illegal, then you shut the fucking business down, not say, oh my God, fucking, insert criminal owns like a camera shop. Nope, not good enough. So the entire business proposal will be either reformed or redacted or repealed in whole. So, okay, the next third one. It's going to be the Bar Association. Now, it's not going to be called Bar Association once again because I think it's got a lot of... it's kind of a loaded term because it won't be a bar association like it colloquially is traditionally, like in the United States. So that name will change, but the intent of it is it's going to be law services. Intent being it is going to function as the helm by which lawyers can get the education they need with the long-term goal to mature enough that they can handle their own issuing of bar licenses. And that is something that the end long-term goal, whether it happens in this term or not, is to mature this utility to the point where the federal government says, you know what? Y'all are organized enough to be handing out bars yourself and looking after it yourself. The next intent is it will be a resource that the lawyers themselves will become the legislators. So lawyers will have and be trained in the ability to write legislation. And then through their peer review of of lawyers, like-minded and not, be able to review and give feedback on this legislation. So by the time it hits the desk of the city council, it's already 90% done. It shows who the authors were and who the backers were. The reasons are simple. People's lawyers know their clients better than anyone else, know their businesses better than anyone else. And plus, and so when they write legislation, they will write it better than any of 8 who think that they know better than the rest. This also increases the pacing at which legislation can be rewritten, reformed, etc. And so what we are doing here is empowering the lawyers to be more, to have more opportunity than they do today. In the medical front, doctors and EMS will be the highest paid service in Los Santos. Now, how we word this is going to be tricky. There might be a good way. I don't know what the way to put it is. But when you take their hourly pay and minus their expenditure, they will be paid the highest. So if their expenditure is low, then they may per hour get paid less than, than something else. But that other something else might have like twice, triple the expenditure. So there might be, I don't know how you word that, but that's kind of the idea. Next, quality of life will be put at the forefront for the hospital to improve their attendance, to improve their hiring, their rate of roster, like the people that are actively on duty. The goal being that by bolstering it and by improving their quality of life and the desirability of being doctors, the ultimate goal will be to get Sandy Hospital up and operational, the psych department up and operational, and independent medicine for senior doctors to operate out of. We can actually pull out the psych department from that list and put it on its own closer to the top. Is that do whatever means possible to ensure that that psych department comes into place. Frog, think of the 15 months. I think I hit a lot of the bullet points here.
I have a lot of questions.
Yep.
But I'll hold if there's anyone else here that has questions first. Then I'm gonna go.
I gotta think on it a bit. So
yeah, no worries. Then I'll go. The platform's good. Really grassroots, blue collar, and I like that. What I haven't heard yet, Nino, is what's your why? Why are you running?
I am, so I'll give you my story and I'll let you kind of put it, in what words you, believe describe it best. I came into this city, to help the people of Los Santos by practicing law. One cell rep and one victim statement later, I realized that civil liberties and the right and the desire to help the people, the 99%, was not present, both in legislation and in the hearts and minds of the government. This ultimately led to me kicking my feet and punching up, ultimately resulting in the FOIA process being enacted into legislation. Kicking up until we began to see gun reform. Kicking up alongside many others to get common law published for the masses to be able to read. But throughout that journey, and being told by those in power, no, 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 and being given the bad faith reasons behind saying no, lacking the mental capacity to understand the why, it led me to realize that I need to run for mayor to ensure that your rights, the rights of the people, are put in the fucking forefront. And that people start hearing yes around the city instead of no. So that people do not find themselves being forced into a life of crime, but instead create a city where people actively attempt to avoid crime because there are better avenues, and those better avenues are because there are different pastures available, rather than knowing that it's knowing that it's just a alternative to not going to jail and getting beaten the fuck down or shot the fuck up. And that under my reign, I will ensure that anybody that stands in the face of justice and the right of people and the prosperity of people, I will legislatively and verbally grab them by the fucking neck and throw them over whatever fucking crystal tower they think they're sitting in.
I can tell you,
Mhm.
the hardest question you're going to be asked if you go into this is always going to be why. You're going to introduce an issue and a solution, and someone's going to ask you why. Why can Nino Chavez fix this? You know what I mean? So when you go into this, you make sure you have an answer to why ready.
Absolutely. The way that I tend to answer it is that I've been kicking ass already, and I've got 10% of legislation's got my fingerprints on it, and I've only been around for 2 weeks. In the last 2 weeks.
If you've got a track record and you know that backs it up, good. It's a great answer. Platform. You mentioned doctors' pay, and when we talked earlier, we talked about police pay as well, right?
Yes. I think police pay I'm going to avoid because I'm going to crack on that. Those guys are printing money right now. It's fucking idiotic. It's going to ruin the goddamn
economy. I spoke with
economy.
Ruby about it too.
Wait, what happened?
I spoke with Ruby right before this meeting.
Oh, what did she say?
I addressed the pay in specific, and she said, well, it makes up for all those months that we were paid so low to buy our vehicles, to get our repairs, buy their equipment. But I still know that their money's stacking right now, and their banks are looking very full. She wants to talk with you again. She said she had 2 conversations with you. One went well, one didn't.
Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah.
Hey, Soze.
Hey, what's up?
Not too much. I'm with my team right now, actually.